Hello everyone and welcome back to Half Magic Tarot. Today's pick-a card reading is, how much longer will you be single? When are you getting into a relationship next? What are the circumstances surrounding it? And what's a general time frame that this might happen for you? So there are 4 piles to choose from. I suggest selecting the pile that sparks a memory in you. So for example, I would choose pile 2, this 3 of Pentacles, which is actually the card that I would have chosen last week, which is funny because I don't select the pile markers. I'd let them choose themselves, basically. So the reason why I would choose this one is because it reminds me of getting yelled at for sitting on the Jenny Holzer Men Don't Protect You Anymore truism bench at the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art a few months ago. So I will put the timestamps in the description down below, so feel free to pause the video now and select your pile, and then let's get started. If you selected pile 1, the Knight of Cups, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the Queen of Wands, the Empress, the 7 of Cups, the 7 of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. For your Romance Angels cards, we got Let Go of Control Issues and Pay Attention to the Red Flags. Okay, my pile 1, so how much longer will you be single? We start off your spread with this Queen of Wands, which I believe is representative of you. So you could be an Aries or have a prominent Aries placement in your natal chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or you could be another fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, but most strongly I'm getting Aries. And the Queen of Wands is the sexiest court card in the tarot. She is someone who is highly attractive and fun to be around and charismatic. And people really enjoy being in her presence because she prioritizes herself. She knows how to take care of herself, and I get the sense of the people watching this pile, maybe the reason why you have been single is because you recognize your worth, and because of that you try not to settle for people that are less than you. But it does feel like, with the rest of these cards here, that you have a tendency of investing in people who maybe excite you initially, but then they don't actually have all of the qualities that you need to feel secure in a relationship. And once you recognize that maybe you have romanticized this person or have false beliefs about what kind of partner they are, then I think it's easy for you to choose yourself, because the Queen of Wands does portray a sense of self-confidence, and you might not feel like confident. Maybe you don't feel like you're super attractive, but there's an assuredness of self that comes with the Queen of Wands that I think really makes it so that way you have a good understanding of what it is that you want in a partner. Now, whether or not you have been identifying those traits or only dating people with those traits is another story. So with the next card in your spread being the Empress, you are definitely someone who loves love or is very invested in the idea of romantic love. You really want to find your person, your soulmate, the person that you can consider your home, your family, someone who you could start a family with if that's something that you're interested in. And the Empress is all about abundance as well. So I get the sense that you maybe have an abundance of options in people, even if you don't fully recognize that, but you haven't found the person that makes you feel abundant. And that's also resonating with this third card in the spread, the 7 of Cups, which is a card of possibilities and options. So it does feel like there's a lot of fish in the sea. There maybe are a lot of people who are interested in you, even if you don't recognize that, but none of them are necessarily sparking your interest, or none of them have the qualities that you need to have the kind of long-term partnership or the kind of stable partnership that you are craving. For a lot of you, I'm sensing that you're probably on like dating apps or dating websites, and you're kind of going through the motions of talking to different people, just trying to see what will work. Because it does feel like you have a lot of options at your fingertips. And I'm also getting the sense that because you are so invested in trying to find love, you are definitely willing to maybe give people chances that you wouldn't if you just like met them organically and got to know them that way. Because the 7 of Cups can also be a card of wishful thinking or false expectations. So it's seeing these cups and thinking, oh, everything inside of it must be beautiful, or it must be representing this. It must have beauty and strength and charm and money and good fortune and humor. But in reality, in this particular deck of cards, there's a snake hiding in these cups. So it feels like maybe because you are a romantic, you can identify good qualities in people and blow them up so much in your mind that you're like, this person is this way. And then maybe they don't actually behave in that way to you. It's just like, this is your wish that you want them to be like, that you have projected onto them. And sometimes it's hard for you to let go of that fantasy of who you think that person should be, because if they only just align to what your expectations are, it would make sense, right? Like, it would fit perfectly. But you can't change other people's behaviors. You can only change your reaction to it. And so it feels like maybe you've come to a point now where, because you are in this Queen of Wands kind of independent energy, you are almost starting to take a step back and be like, I can't keep investing in people that keep disappointing me, or believing that someone is different when in actuality they have all these negative qualities, or overlooking things about them that I know will not benefit me in the long run. And that's also reflected in the Seven of Wands, because the Seven of Wands is the feeling of having a lot of things, a lot of problems, a lot of issues stacked against you, but also feeling like you have the upper hand. So it feels like, for maybe people that you've dated in the past, maybe you recognize that there were things that were wrong with them or wrong with the relationship, things that were not going to work long term, but because you liked very specific things about them, it was hard for you to say, I can't deal with this. I can't progress with these things coming at me, because you're like, well, I can deal with it as long as this one quality or this one behavior is still there. And so it feels like you had to you were hitting some of the qualities that you wanted in a partner, but not all of them. And it feels like some of the qualities that weren't being hit, some of the qualities that weren't being checked off, were ones that were kind of non-negotiable for you. Like, for example, I dated someone, and I stayed with them for a while because I was like, well, they're not, cheating on me. They're not abusive. They're generally like kind of nice to me. They do nice things for me sometimes. But there were all these other things, like we had very different values. We had very different outlooks of what we wanted in the relationship. And truthfully, we just weren't that compatible, like intellectually or on a values level. And it was easy for me to stay in the relationship and kind of ignore the fact that I knew deep down it wouldn't work long term, because it was just easier to say, well, nothing terrible has happened. There's nothing for me to like break up with this person yet, so why don't I just give it a chance and see where it goes? But and I'm a believer in trying to see where things goes and taking chances, but also at what point are you wasting your time? And I feel like this is a realization that maybe you have had recently, where you're like, I can't really change other people. I can't make them or mold them into the way that I want to be based on the potential of what they are now. And so because of that, it feels like you've just had a lot of false starts in relationships in the past, or you've had kind of disappointing fizzlings out. But the good news is that at the end of your spread, we have this King of Pentacles, which is the kind of partner you need. This is someone who is also independent, just like the Queen of Wands. And they also have a kind of calming energy. I think for a lot of people in this pile, you might be kind of outgoing or all over the place or very excitable, and this person is more laid back. And I think that balances you out well. And also, this person can be more maybe financially independent than the people you've dated in the past, but also overall there's a sense of patience and maturity when it comes to this person that it feels like your previous partners were lacking, and that was the reason why they never worked out or they didn't stay long. So this person coming in for you, I'm getting, could be a Taurus or a Pisces, but I'm getting most strongly Pisces for this because your pile marker is this Knight of Cups, which is representative of Pisces, and I believe that this also represents the next person that you will date. So with these two qualities combined, the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups, they're a very sensual person, so probably they really like having nice meals, they like cuddling up on the couch, they like nice clothing, they probably dress really well, and this person's also a romantic, so they might give you a really beautiful bouquet of flowers, like I said, make you a nice meal, take you to a nice restaurant that you've never been to, and they are very sweet with their words, and they're very patient. They can take their time, and they have such a calm demeanor where they're not going to kind of argue with you for no reason. I get the sense that they're very good at expressing their emotions, even when they're more difficult emotions like anger or disappointment, because they have that level of emotional maturity that you have been missing in previous relationships. So when might you meet this person? I am going to bank on most likely Taurus season. And this is a timeless reading, so if for whatever reason you're not watching this, when I put it out, this will just be the next Taurus season for you. So Taurus season is late April through most of May. And the reason why I say Taurus season is because we have the Empress here, and the Empress is the card of Venus, which rules Taurus, and we have the King of Pentacles, which is a Taurus card. So we have two Taurus, and then we have 2 7 cards here. And in 7 weeks, I believe, 7 weeks from when I initially put out this video, it will be the start of Taurus season, or just about the start of Taurus season. So I'm going to say Taurus season for the majority of you, but I always want to clarify when I do timings on readings that it really just depends on how things are going as they are right now. You can always do something to change it. The person that you are going to be coming into union with can do something that speeds up that time or pushes it back. But I would say generally Taurus season would be a good bet for the majority of you. So your first romance angels card is let go of control issues, which says allow this situation to unfold naturally. So it feels like because you are this Queen of Wands, because you are someone who is independent and you know what you want and you're not afraid to go after it, and because you also have this tendency of over romanticizing people or trying to make things work when you know maybe in your gut that it's not going to work, because you are so invested in love and you so badly want to have this kind of beautiful blossoming Empress love in your life. I think you have been trying to force it where it's not. And so I think that is a really big lesson for you, is to learn patience and learn that it will unfold. The things that are meant for you will unfold on their own. And no amount of forcing something is going to make something that's not for you work for you. And so that is a big lesson that you are learning in love. Your second romance angels card says, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. So again, this goes along with that 7 of Cups and the 7 of Wands for me. I get the sense that you tend to over-romanticize people sometimes, and you don't really pay attention to the things that would not work for you or the reasons why they would not be the kind of partner that you want or that you need. And so it's important for you to kind of maintain that level of clarity, so that way you are attracting the kind of person who fulfills these qualities of someone that you can be in a long-term relationship with, of your ideal partner that's being represented by this King of Pentacles. All right, my pile ones, that is it for your reading. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care. If you selected pile 2, the 3 of Pentacles, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the 5 of Cups, the 7 of Swords, the Ace of Cups, Justice, and the Magician. For your romance angels cards, we got separation and heart-to-heart conversations. My pile 2, so how much longer will you be single? We start off your spread with this 5 of Cups, and immediately what I'm hearing is that you had a romantic situation in your past that was quite emotionally devastating for you. It was really painful emotionally, and I think that when this breakup happened or this separation happened, this instance where you realize that your feelings were always going to be unrequited, whatever this situation was, it was very easy for you to catastrophize and be like, oh, no one is ever going to reciprocate the kind of love that I want to give to other people. And the Five of Cups is a card of grief. So I think for a while you were in this grieving period, and it's okay to be in a grieving period. Sometimes you have to just accept it and move through it and allow yourself to feel things before you can get to the other side. The good news about the Five of Cups is that in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, there are 5 cups, as it says, but only 3 of them are spilled, and then there's 2 cups kind of lingering behind the person who's crying over these spilled cups. And so the message of the card is that you can be upset about the loss you've had happen to you, but there's still something waiting for you if you allow yourself to decide to move on. And in particular, the 2 full cups of the 5 of Cups, the 2 of Cups in the tarot represents a beautiful new relationship. So I feel like this was kind of an important transition for you to have before you can enter into a new relationship, was that you had to have this moment of grief and allowing yourself to feel the feelings and disappointment and reflect on why that happened. And why did it happen? Well, the next card in your spread is the 7 of Swords. And this can be a card of betrayal. So for some of you, this person who really kind of devastated you romantically could have betrayed you in some kind of way. They could have cheated on you. They could have lied to you. They could have just done something shady. They could have left you without really saying why. And another message that I'm getting for a lot of you is with the 7 of Swords and the Ace of Cups next to it, this Ace of Cups represents you trying to offer your love and your feelings and be emotionally vulnerable with someone. And the 7 of Swords can also indicate someone who sneaks away or tries to run away. So it feels like you were trying to offer all of this to this person and they just did not reciprocate. They just left. They didn't care to try to give that back to you, to try to learn more about you, to try to be on that same level of vulnerability that you were. And so the second message that I'm getting with this Ace of Cups in the middle of your spread is that this represents the new person coming in for you. So that's what this whole reading is about, right? How much longer will you be single? So with the Ace of Cups, this is definitely a new person. This is a new relationship coming in, and this is someone who is going to be offering you the same emotional resonance that you want to give to someone. With the Justice card next in this spread, Justice is all about balance and kind of having the energy that you put out come back to you. It's a karmic card. So this karma of you being heartbroken despite doing your best, despite being vulnerable, despite trying to be loving and caring and affectionate, you will soon experience a relationship where you receive that same energy that you have continued to put out into the world despite this heartbreak, despite this betrayal, despite this feeling of, will anyone ever love me in the way that I want to be loved? And in particular with this Justice card, because there's a scale on here and Justice can also indicate a card of balance, I do think that the next relationship that you will be entered into will be more balanced. And so I'm also picking up once again with the 7 of Swords and the Ace of Cups that this previous relationship that left you in a state of grief or a state of upset was one that was really imbalanced, where you were offering way more than the other person was. You were putting in way more effort. You're the one trying to make it work. And this person just was not willing to reciprocate because they were flighty, they were scared, and quite frankly, they were emotionally unavailable. So the last card in your spread is this Magician card, and this is all about manifestation and getting the things that you want. And so I feel like this is something that you really want. It's something that you've reflected on a lot. Why did this relationship with this other person not work out? And I feel like for a lot of you, because you kind of went through this grieving period, you've come to the realization that even if you were still in the relationship with this person, they would never regardless of what you did, even if you still got to be with them, they would not be giving you the energy that you actually want in a relationship. And having that realization and saying, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone if I had to beg that person to like me, if I had to beg that person to treat me right. That is a really powerful statement that is going to kind of propel you into this upcoming fair, balanced relationship. Because now that you've gone through this grieving period, we've gone from the Five of Cups to this Magician, which is a card about having all of the necessary requirements to manifest the kind of relationship that you want. So, when might this relationship happen for you? I am getting anywhere in the next 3 months for you. So I'm not getting like a very specific time, just within the next few months. It does feel like there's a little bit of divine timing at play here, so it feels like the circumstances kind of have to align, but it does feel like it's coming soon. We have the Ace of Cups here, which represents 1 month. We have the Three of Pentacles, which I'm taking as 3 months here. And we have the Magician card, which is representative of Gemini. Gemini season is late May through most of June, and that would be as I'm filming this, it's about to be March, so that is like 3 months from now. But this is a timeless reading, so if you are not watching this particular video around the time that I put it out, it could just mean that it will happen for you, perhaps your next Gemini season, whatever Gemini season is coming up for you, or within the next 3 months after the date that you watch this. So your pile marker is this Three of Pentacles, and what I'm getting from this is that you could meet this person through work or through coworkers at a work event, something to do with the way that you make your money. And also, this is a card about kind of like a muse-artist relationship. And I feel like with the imbalance that's really being kind of strongly shown to me in your previous relationship, it feels so much different from what you've experienced in this past, because I feel like this person really puts you on a pedestal and treats you like you're priceless. They treat you so much better than anyone else has ever treated you, and they see a lot more value in you than you have ever felt. Like the people that you've dated in the past, in particular this singular person who really kind of broke your heart or made you a little disillusioned about love, ever treated you. So your first romance angels card is separation, which says time apart from your partners on the horizon. And I believe that this is about the separation that caused you this grief, represented by the Five of Cups, the Seven of Swords, betrayal, this person who kind of made you take a step back from dating and have to reevaluate what it is that you really wanted. But the universe wants you to know that this was a very necessary step, because I think without the reflection and the realizations that you had because of this heartbreak, you would not be in a position where you have all the tools and the ability to like identify what kind of partner you really need. I think you would still be willing to tolerate maybe less. And now that you're not, you are in a position where you are more inclined to accept balance and appreciation from a romantic partner. Your second romance angels card is heart-to-heart conversations, which says honestly discuss your feelings with each other. This is about the new person that's coming in for you. With this Ace of Cups here, they're going to be kind of the first people to approach you, I think, and be honest about what their feelings and their intentions are with you, which is, I think, not something that you are used to in romantic relationships, because like I said in the past, you were this person who was always holding out your cup, always trying to be more open, always trying to give more, and not having it reciprocated. So it's a nice change of pace to have someone who really approaches you and is very honest about what their feelings and intentions are with you. And also with Justice and the Magician, both of these are air sign cards, and air signs are all about communication. So I feel like the thing that really brings you and your next romantic partner together is your conversations, your communications, your ability to express things about yourselves to each other. I think that is really what's going to bond you and bring you into this beautiful, loving relationship. So congratulations, my pile 2. That is it for your reading. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care. If you selected pile 3, the Four of Pentacles, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the Page of Pentacles. For your Romance Angels cards, we got Very Soon and Finances and Career. My pile 3, so how much longer are you going to be single? We start off your spread with this Queen of Pentacles, and I believe that this represents you. This is the kind of person you are. You are someone who is very independent. You've done a lot for yourself. You've cultivated the kind of life that you want to live. You probably, pay your own bills. You got your own job. You have a cute apartment. You have friends. You have all of these things for yourself, and you're fine where you are. And you are also a very nurturing, caring person. You really go out of your way to take care of the people that are important to you. And I think in the past, this has been a quality that people have been really attracted to when it comes to you. But it seems like in particular, you were attracting people who, to be honest, were a little bit scrubby, because I think they saw this and they thought, I just want someone to take care of me. And I know that this person will, because they take care of the people they care about so well and they have the resources. So with this Page of Wands next to the Queen of Pentacles, I believe that this is maybe someone you've dated in the past, or just the kind of people that you've attracted in the past, where it's people who are kind of flighty, and the thing that they really care about, honestly, is like the physical aspects of a relationship, and you can read into that how you want. And they are just a little immature. They're flighty. They're not really deep. They're not giving necessarily. They just want to have fun, and they see someone who has the resources that will be fun for them, because you have the independence, whether that's financial insecurity, emotional independence, and you're someone who likes to take care of other people, because that's the kind of person you are. You are very generous, but it feels like in the past you have been taken advantage of in this way. And at the time, you probably weren't like, oh, they're doing this intentionally. Probably this person was just like, oh, can you loan me some money, or I can't take you on a date because I don't have any money right now. And so you settled because you like the person, you like being around them. But I think you recognize now that you are at a completely different place in your life than this person is. And because of that, you have moved on, or you're ready to move on. You're ready to begin a new relationship. And with this Six of Wands in the middle of your spread, I do see it coming in for you, because the Six of Wands is a card of victory. And I also feel like this gives a clue about the next person that you'll be in a relationship with, because the Six of Wands can also indicate someone who is really highly thought of or highly valued by the people around them. And so I feel like this is a definite step up from this kind of flighty, doesn't really have too much to offer except vibes person or people that were in your past, because this is someone that is recognized for the things that they have achieved, for the kind of person they are, and they're really talked about fondly. And so I think this person is much more on your level, as you are this Queen of Pentacles figure, than this other person in your past who, quite frankly, did not measure up to you and was bringing you down a little bit because you were not receiving, you were just giving and overextending yourself. And I just heard the person in your past lacked motivation, and I feel like you are a very motivated person, and so this person tried to get you to stall your life or kind of come down to their level, because they had a level of insecurity about being an unmotivated person. But you don't want to do that. You want to have the best life that you can possibly have. And you're not afraid to make sacrifices or put yourself in an uncomfortable position in order to get there, where it feels like this person just doesn't put in effort because they would rather not have to do anything than go through a moment of discomfort to have things in their life work out. They don't plan, is what I'm hearing. Whereas I feel like if you decide to do something, you can make it happen for yourself within a few months. Whereas this person, they might talk about it, but they never actually take any initiative. And so this new person that's coming in for you is someone who is on the same wavelength as you, where they're like, yeah, if I want something, I will go out and try to make it happen. I'm not going to just sit around and say that I wish it would happen, because I know that you have to put in some action. You have to put in some effort to make things happen for yourself. And so this person, even though you still are this Queen of Pentacles, but this person really values you not for what you've accomplished and what you represent on their arm and the resources, the time, the energy that you can put into them. This person values you as this Knight of Swords, which is someone who is very passionate, very driven, who is very good at communicating, very eloquent. They value your intelligence in particular, which I think is something that this person from your past just didn't really care about or see in you, because quite frankly, I think your level of drive, your ambition, your intelligence made this person intimidated or made them feel insecure. But this new person is going to really appreciate that about you. And this new person is coming in not as this flighty Page of Wands, not as this, only pleasure-oriented kind of person, but this Page of Pentacles, who is someone who is very wise. They're also very smart in the same way that the Knight of Swords is smart. So I think intellectually this person will be a much better match for you. But also, as the Page of Pentacles, there's someone who is not afraid to invest and take their time and offer things in the same way that the Queen of Pentacles offers things to people. So this person already feels much more invested in you than this person from your past ever did. And with this Four of Pentacles as your pile marker, I'm getting that this was kind of the energy of the person from your past, where they just weren't willing to share with you in the same way that you were willing to share with them. And I think they took advantage of you. And for a lot of you, I'm getting specifically that this is financially. You could have helped this person out financially, which if you are a woman who dates men, I tell this to every single woman that I'm friends with, because I think that this is something that happens more frequently than we're willing to admit. Do not pay a man's bills. Do not let him take all your money. Do not become financially dependent on a man, because they will take everything from you and then you will be stuck. And that's advice I give to every single woman that I am friends with. He has all of the same opportunities that you do, and he's also a man, so, wage gap situation. He can go out and make money. He can make a job. He can ask a man and his family for money and not you. Okay? Just put that out there. Just really do not let someone take advantage of you. And I don't think the people in this pile will have a problem with that anymore, because it feels like maybe you put up with that in the past and now you're not willing to. But either way, with this Four of Pentacles, this person in the past was just not willing to depart with anything to give to you, but they expected you to kind of give everything to them. And you're like, if you just if you just tried, if you just decided to make a move, then you could improve your life so much, but you won't, is what the message that I'm getting about this person. But I'm also getting that this has a different meaning for this new person coming in for you, which is that it's someone who is very responsible financially, and also it's someone who is very protective of you as a person, which I think is kind of a change, because before, I don't think the person from your past really cared if they were dwindling your resources financially or emotionally, whereas I think this person would be very affronted to even try to drain you in any kind of way. So when might this new person come in for you? Well, your first Romance Angels card says very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So very soon, obviously that's not a huge time indicator. So what does very soon mean? For a lot of you, I'm getting anywhere between 1.5 to 3 months. So the reason why I say that is because we have the Six of Wands, which I'm reading as 6 weeks. That's about 1.5 months. And we have the Knight of Swords, which is a Gemini card. Gemini season is late May through most of June, and that is about 3 months from now. So I'm getting in that time frame. The Page of Wands is also a card that indicates happening very soon, without maybe like a specific time frame. So we have 2 indicators that this will happen pretty soon for you. And this is a timeless reading. So if you are reading this or watching this, at a time after I initially put it out, the timing should still apply to you, perhaps within 1.5 to 3 months, very soon. But this is a pile that feels like it's about the circumstances kind of coming together and less about like a specific date. And this had very similar vibes to pile number 2. So if you are feeling drawn to pile 2 also, you might want to take a look at that, because some of it might resonate with you, because I think the timing was pretty much the same, and some of the messaging about maybe an ex was a little similar. So your second Romance Angels card was Finances and Career, which says financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So again, I feel like perhaps in the past you were dating a broke boy, a broke girl, broke them. And I think that you are no longer willing to tolerate that, because why should you? Why should you? You've made it happen for yourself. What's their excuse? And obviously people come from different backgrounds. People who are born into money have more advantages, and it's easier for them to make money than poor people. But you should not have to lower your standards and provide for someone else if that's not what you want in a relationship. And I don't think that is what you want. I think you want to maintain your independence because you are driven. You want to date someone who is equally as driven and who has put in just as much effort as you have into cultivating their lifestyle. All right, my pile 3s, that is it for your reading. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care. If you selected pile 4, the 6 of Wands, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the 5 of Wands, the 8 of Cups, the Moon, the 9 of Wands, and the Devil. For your Romance Angels cards, we got Deception and You Deserve Love. All right, my pile 4, so how much longer will you stay single? We start off your spread with this 5 of Wands. And immediately what I'm getting is that for a lot of you, you were in a relationship, a situationship, you had a crush on someone where essentially you got ghosted, or this person kind of slowly saw themselves out of your life in a way that left you wondering, like, what went wrong? What did I do? Why is this person pulling away? So there's something to the effect of maybe like just starting to wean themselves away from you, ghosting, something of that nature, because of the imagery on this specific card of someone kind of looking at their phone and seeing all of these messages coming in but not replying. I feel like that happened to you, where you just started to feel very ignored by someone in the past. And the 5 of Wands is also a card that's all about conflict. So it could be that you started to feel like no matter how much I fight for this relationship, I fight to make this work, it feels like the other person just isn't willing to try or meet me halfway. Like they've already made up their mind, and I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know how I can fix it. I don't know if it's something about me. It just feels very significantly like there was a lack of closure in your love life in the past. And that's also echoed by this 8 of Cups that's next in your spread, because the 8 of Cups is really a card about moving on. And I think that for a lot of you, maybe you have moved on from this just because there has been time for you to move on. But I think it was really difficult because the 8 of Cups is a transition that's hard, because it feels like walking away from something that maybe still has potential, but you know that there's probably like a better option out there. So for a lot of you, I think because there was not really a definitive reason why this happened, you felt like, well, they liked me before, they treated me well before, so why can't we go back to that? So it was hard for you to say, maybe I can't go back to that. Maybe this is how it is now, and I just have to accept that and move on and know that there's someone who will treat me in the way that I want to be treated. And in the middle of your spread, we have this moon card, which is all about things that are hidden. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is representative of the lack of closure that came from this relationship. And I feel like because of that, it was really difficult for you to date for a while, or it still really is difficult for you to date because not knowing what went wrong, it's hard for you to trust your own emotions, your own thoughts when it comes to relationships, because maybe you thought that this person and you were really good together, and then there was some kind of conflict or this person pulled away, and it made you really question your own self-worth because you didn't have a definitive answer of why this person was no longer interested in you, or they didn't want to be with you anymore, whatever it is. And so the lack of closure is really something that has lingered with you and stayed with you and impacted your ability to date again. And that's being reflected also in this next card in your spread, this Nine of Wands, which is all about having your walls up because you feel wounded. So I think the wounds that you experience from your lack of closure, from feeling like you did something wrong but you don't know what it is, has made you build your walls up really high and made it difficult for you to trust someone because you don't want to invest in someone and have them just pull away and not understand why. And I feel like this is a pattern that you maybe have gone through like a few times, but maybe the last time in particular was especially painful for you emotionally. And so your walls are really high. You don't want to trust anyone. You don't want to let your guard down. But at the end of your spread with this Devil card, I believe that this represents the next person that's coming in for you. And so this person could be a Capricorn or have a prominent Capricorn placement in their natal chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. But the energy of the Devil is someone who is very passionate and who is very attached. So I feel like, first of all, this person is very passionate about breaking down these barriers, and they are definitely clear about their communication and what they're thinking and feeling, and they don't really leave you guessing because this person is very much interested in you and they're passionate and they're willing to kind of make it clear what it is that they're doing. So you go from this feeling of being left behind to this feeling of having someone really be all in with you. And I think that is the kind of transition that you need to go through. So when might this happen for you? I'm hearing most strongly anywhere from 8 to 10 months. And I know some of you just heard that and you groaned because that seems like a really long time. Really, it's not that long. But the reason why this is slow moving for you is because with this Nine of Wands card, you really do have your walls built up so high that it's no one who is uncertain or kind of halfway there about you is going to be able to penetrate that, which is why you really need this person who is really strongly magnetically drawn to you, that's represented by this Devil card. So where did I get the timing from? We have the Eight of Cups here, which is a card about transition. So Eight of Cups can indicate 8 months. That would be from the time that I'm releasing this video, around the end of October. And then, like I said before, the Devil card can be representative of Capricorn season, which is about 2 months later. That's the end of December through most of January. So I'm getting somewhere in that time frame. This is a timeless reading though, so if you are watching this after the initial time that I put it out, I would say maybe 8 to 10 months after you view this, or the next October to January time frame upcoming for you. And I think that you can take that as it resonates. So with the Six of Wands as your pile marker, this is a card that's all about victory. And this comes after the Five of Wands, which obviously is this card of combat and competition. And in this case, it's a feeling of someone pulling away from you or not fighting for you and kind of leaving you wondering what happened. So you transition from this painful Five of Wands to this beautiful energy of coming out on the other side victorious and kind of being celebrated for the person you are. And I think the person that's celebrating the person you are is the person that's coming in for you romantically, who sees how this thing that happened to you in the past has made you stronger, and they really admire and respect that about you. And with your first Romance Angels card, we got Deception, which says someone is wearing a false self-mask in this relationship. So it could be that the person in the past who kind of pulled away did deceive you in some kind of way. Maybe you figured this out after, but most strongly I'm getting that this aligns with the Moon card, which is all about things that are hidden. So It feels like the lack of clarity feels like a deception. It feels like you still don't know what went wrong. It feels like this person withheld information from you about why they didn't commit to you, why they pulled away, whatever the situation was. And not having that sense of clarity has been really kind of emotionally taxing for you, but there's not anything that you can do about it. You can't convince this person to tell you the truth. You can't convince them to give you a solid answer. You can only manage your reaction to not having that solid answer. And I think that is something that you are still learning and have had really worked hard to have to learn, because I think the lack of clarity really impacted your self-esteem. And I think that you need to be at a place where someone's treatment towards you does not feel like a reflection of your worth as a person. Because the second romance angels card we got is you deserve love, which says you are lovable. So I feel like for a lot of you, because this person pulled away or they ghosted you or whatever, you kind of had this thing where like, oh, maybe it's because I'm not lovable. Maybe it's because no one will ever see me that way. Maybe it's because I'm not enough. It's really easy for you to turn it in on yourself because their intentions, the reason why they did what they did, remain hidden from you. It gave you a space to kind of just imagine the worst, and the worst was all of this criticism about yourself. And I think that's also one of the reasons why you have built your walls up so high, because it's hard for you to see yourself as someone who can be loved or can be treated well. And so that's really important for you to internalize, is that there is someone out there who will be obsessed with you, who will be all about you, who will really want to be in your life. That's represented by this devil. But they can only come in really when it's most healthy for you to have someone like that in your life, which is when you, one, can trust that other people see good qualities in you and be emotionally vulnerable without the fear that someone will abandon you or leave you in the same way that this person from your past did. All right, my pile force, that is it for your reading. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care.